Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to IG8Live Esports. So this evening, once again, we're going to be with Slipstream Racing League Sunday Division. For some reason, I had Wednesday Division in the title. Apologies about that, but I think I just fixed that there. Might still show, just depends on what aspect you're looking from. But it is with the Sunday Division, and we are getting ready for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and this is currently in qualifying one. So currently, as we have, we got about 17 drivers in the session. I think we should have a few more join on before we get to the end of qualifying here. So let's get out on track and have a look and see what's happening in the meanwhile here. Some lap times should be coming in pretty soon. So we'll see how soon that's actually going to happen in this case here right about now. So I'm just making sure everything is good on our stream's end. And I think we should be good so far. Hopefully everything's good on the thumbnail I put on the video. I'm not sure what one I put, but hopefully everything's good with that. But yeah, guys, so with Slipstream Racing links on the division, round 3 of, well, however much races we're going to be doing for the entire season. I didn't even have a look at that. But yeah, let's see who we got going. So I think we got a few different drivers possibly in the lineup here this evening, but we'll have a look at that as we get on through with the session. So far so good as we're getting started here. A few cars getting out on track and just getting warmed up a bit just before they get started on those hot laps there. So we should start to see sometimes in pretty soon, and looking forward to an interesting race as well as an interesting stream here, because as we know, these the races tends to look pretty interesting, especially under the lights. So a lot of fun whenever we go to tracks like Bahrain or Singapore or get over here to Abu Dhabi. So a lot of fun to watch as these cars go around just on the lights. So we're going to see how well that race session will work when we get around to it. Not sure how many safety cars will be in this one or if there's going to be one on the opening lap, but for the moment we're going to just focus on the qualifying session here. Up to 18 drivers now in qualifying one here, already down to about 14.5 minutes remaining, and as you know, the time does tend to go by pretty quickly here. So we're gonna see how this works out here. I think majority of our drivers, we are quite familiar with them. I'm looking to see who we got different on the grid here. I know Tucker is someone I haven't seen before. Page there I haven't seen before. Maspin definitely seen before. We got VRS Smithy. I have seen him drive before, so not too surprised to see him here. Who else do we have? It looks like we have Sam Robinson there, probably a new driver on in here as well. So the reason I call him off as new is just going to be a bit unfamiliar to me. So let's see who's currently getting a lap going here. I think we're on currently with Mikey at the moment in the Ferrari. Let's have a look, see what this lap is going to look like. Getting to sector 3 here right about now. And oh, we got VRL Smitty currently with a lap time in. It's a 1:36.7 so far. Let's see how well that's going to hold up with the rest of the drivers as they get on through the session and get some times in. We're just going to stick on with the Ferrari driver here and see what his lap time is going to look like at the end of this current lap. So far so good, I would say, because he has not invalidated the lap there, so hopefully keeps that going all the way through. Got access with a 1:36.0 and goes into second on the grid. Mikey now goes fastest in the session at 1:35.5 and puts on a whole new level with that time there. So let's see how that's going to hold up pretty well, at least for now. We got Tucker down to 4th at 1:44.0. Needs to make a better time than that. Where is Mazpin on track? Currently trying to get a lap going here right now. So let's see how that's going to work out. Neil getting out on an out lap there. We got Tyler on an out lap as well. Trying to see who else is currently on a lap. I think Mr. Ray here might be on a lap in that Red Bull. Actually, no, he's invalidated his current lap. So just a bit of bad luck there. He's going to have to get a wrong try again. Sam Robinson here in the Williams. Let's have a look and see where is he on track here at the moment. I think he's getting through to the final sector and getting a wrong. So let's have a look at that as he finishes that lap and hopefully doesn't invalidate on the final corner. It looks like he gets through pretty well and goes across the line. Let's see where he goes on the grid, and it's a 1:36.4. Not a bad time. Puts him in a pretty good position, at least for now. We'll of course have to try and improve that time as the session goes throughout, because remember, it's about getting over to qualifying 2, then into qualifying 3. So let's see what's going to happen. Bound to Mazepin here in the McLaren as gets through sector 2 here. See how that's going. At the moment, all seems to be going pretty well so far. And welcome to all of our viewers who we have currently on the stream there. Remember, we're currently live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. All links are in the description of the video if you need to check out where the other streams are currently going on. So do check it out, see what's happening. Of course, we do have the links in the description of the video that you'll find that mostly on Facebook and YouTube stream where, oh, and that's Matt Spin into the barriers there. That's his car out of qualifying, unfortunately. We're going to switch on over to Neil in the Mercedes, and in the meanwhile have him going through sector 2. And yeah, we were talking about the links in the description of the video to join either my channel Discord or join on the league's Discord itself if you do want to be one of the drivers on the grid here on our stream. I think they're always looking for some reserve drivers to just be around, just to make sure we always have a full grid of 20 drivers for these races for this entire season here on F1 2021. That's going to be going through. I think the rest of the year going all the way possibly to December is where around this season might be ending. Maybe December or January, I'm not sure. Just depends on how many races we do have set up for the season, which I think is a full calendar here. Usually that goes with Slipstream Racing, so we'll see how that works out. But yeah, I think Wednesday division might be the same thing. We should be covering back Wednesday division race this week as well. I think it's for the Russian Grand Prix. I think it's scheduled on the channel, the YouTube channel, so guys, just to have a look at that and just set your reminders on that. Of course, we do have another stream that should be going on tomorrow for the Nomex Championship. We'll see how that works out. And let's have a look here now, because Neil about to get across the line, goes second fastest in the session. A 135.7, just about 2/10 of the time that Mikey did earlier on, so a pretty impressive lap from him. That's going to put him up in the second for now. Definitely looking like a lap time that's going to be putting him over into qualifying 2. When I get on down at the back here, have a look at Vintage in the next Ferrari right about now. His teammate currently fastest in the session. Let's see if he can do follow with that and just keep him himself possibly in the top 3 at least. When he gets completed with this lap here, we do have Extremist into the pits at the moment. Beefy in the pits, Robbie in the pits. We got Mr. Rage on track, Tyler on track, and let's see, Clark heading out on the track right about now on his out lap. He's already got that lap going, so let's see if he's going to get started soon and what the lap times are going to look like. Lap times not so much on the grid at the moment. I see Clark is now getting out on track there as well, so it should be an interesting session overall. Let's just keep an eye out by the end of this and see what our lap times are definitely looking like. So Vintage still running this lap here in the moment into sector 3, about to finish this up pretty soon, and we'll see where he goes on the grid. Got to have a look at Tyler there and Mr. Rage as well to see what's happening with that. We should be able to have a look at the constructors and the driver standings so far coming up to last week. We'll see how the drivers are looking in terms of the Drivers' Championship so far. So 2 rounds for the season down so far, just on the 3rd one going through here. So should be a lot of fun. Going to be a bit of an rearrangement with the driver standings and whatnot. So 6th here for Vintage so far, 137.0. Not overly a bad position, but of course we know drivers are going to go and get faster than that. So let's see if that's going to work out. Tyler here in LP not having the best of luck. Apparently we'll have to try this again. Vintage out of the session, did make it back to the pit, so that lap time is not going to count, unfortunately. I think that was a decent lap time, but he's now going to be out of qualifying 2, possibly. They're already down to 13th on the grid with that, so that's going to push it down a bit as everyone gets their timing up here in 7th. We're clocking in the Haas at the moment. Let's see what his lap time is going to look like when he gets around. Of course, we do have Mr. Rage and Glock still out on track there, so let's see what they're going to be looking like by the end of this here right now. See Page already out of the session, no lap time in. Unfortunate, and I think it's the first race for them with Slipstream here. Okay, so back on with this again. Do have Clark here about to finish up this lap, so let's see what the lap times we're going to be seeing here. Seems like quite a few drivers are having a bit of a difficult time here at the circuit, so I'm not sure what's happening because quite a few drivers out without lap times in. Going to make it very difficult for them getting over to qualifying 2 at that point there, so we'll see how many drivers actually make it on over. And that's the fastest lap so far in the session made by Clarky there at 134.6, goes just a 10th faster than what Mikey did, so very impressive lap from him. So Clarky, Mikey and Neil currently in the 135s, and Actually, no, we're just middle in the 135. We got Mikey and Clark now up to the 134. So very impressive of them so far. Didn't even notice that Mikey made that faster time in there. So actually not too bad. Let's have a look down with Robbie here in P8 at the moment. Looks like an invalidated lap. We'll have to try again. Looks like we got Walker in the session as well right about now. Welcome on to him in there. Let's switch on down to the bottom of the grid here. Where is Clark on track right now in the Mercedes, trying to get an out lap going here. So should be getting started with his lap pretty soon. We'll see what that is going to look like. And in the meanwhile, I think let me just have a look at a few things here. In the meanwhile, we got all of this going on. I think we're probably just gonna check on the standings so far as it is there. So let's have a quick look if we can. Let me just have a look here right now, see what's going on. So I'm going to try and bring the constructor standings up on screen. And hopefully you guys are able to see that. Let me see what's happening, if that's actually showing or not. Yeah, so I think we got that good so far. Let's have a look quickly at what the constructor standings look like. So far, in the meanwhile, these guys are finishing up their laps there. So we got the Williams currently leading the constructor standings here for the Sunday division with 43 points, and tied in second place with AlphaTauri at the moment. They are 43 as well. So that's going to be a close battle between these two going further on into the season. We'll see what's going to happen after this race this evening. Mercedes currently third, 25 points for the constructor standings so far. We got Ferrari down in fourth with 19. Alfa Romeo in fifth, 16. We got Aston Martin down to sixth with 12. Red Bull in 7, Alpine in 8, both with 8 points and tied for that. So that's going to be a bit of a separation there today as well. We got McLaren in 9th. We got Haas in 10th, both tied with 1 point each. And definitely looking to get some more points in for this race itself. So we'll see how that's going to work out. And let's just switch this back over here right about now. So I'm going to take off the... let's take off the constructor standings, put on the driver standings, and have a quick look at that in the meanwhile, because I'm not sure how safety cars are going to go in this race, so I'm not sure if we'll have to get a chance to even have a look of all of that. So in the meanwhile, we're still waiting on Clark to finish his current lap. So at the moment, we got Drove. They're currently leading the driver standings here for Sunday night division with 43 points. We got Walker currently running second, 33 points. We got Clark currently third, and he's currently trying to get a lap in at the moment on track there. He's 25 points with that. Extreme is currently fourth, 16 points. We got Vintage down to fifth with this one, 15 points. We got Chris in 6, 12 points. We got Beefy 7, 10 points. Mr. Rage in 8 with 8 points. Scooby down in 9th, ties him with 8 points there as well. Mikey there in 10th, currently with 4 points only. And Nick down in 11th in the standings with 1 point. No other driver currently has any points here, so they're definitely going to be looking to make some points this evening if they can. So we'll see how well that's going to work for them, but hopefully they are actually they're going to be able to make some decent points here. Hopefully that's going to help them out with the standings and what not getting through the session. So we'll see how it's going to work out. Anyway, let's get that off screen, and thank you very much, Neil. I was hoping that they would come up just a bit smaller on the side of the screen. I didn't want to block what's happening on track, or I didn't want to actually switch to another screen because I didn't have that fully set up as yet. But I want to set it up so we can switch to another screen, have the session that's actually going on one part of the side, and have the standings up on another. We'll see how it goes on. But yeah, I think it was fine so far. I'm trying to make something else with it, but at least thanks to you guys for designing that standings, as that wasn't done by me, that was done by the league and placed in the Discord. I just used the image that they provided there and just put it up on screen so you guys can have a look at what the standings look like, and we can bring that back up at any point during the session that we need. So that's going to be a bit helpful there as well. So let's continue on here. What's we got going on in the session? Down to just about 2 minutes 40 seconds left in qualifying one. Clark is still the fastest lap here, 134.6. Let's switch on over. We got Red Devil in the session here as well, trying to get a lap right now. Let's have a look and see what that's going. Actually, let's switch this back over. Where's Walk on track? Unfortunately invalidated, so I'm gonna go back down to Red Devil at the moment. Keep it there and let's see what's happening. So Mikey's still second fastest at 134.7, only a 10th off of what Clark did. Needle still long in third, unfortunately out of the session at 135.7, but will make it on over to qualifying 2 with that lap time, because it's pretty impressive, up into 135s And he's only driving in the 135, so we only got 2 drivers faster than that. We get the XS currently 4th, 136.049. Mr. Rage in 5th, 136.093. Just about close to about 500th of a second off the time, so really not that far off, and that's pretty impressive actually there. So Sam Robinson down to 6th at 136.4, and he holds himself a pretty good position. Tucker there currently 7th at 140.0. Not the best of time here, I'll be honest, but still he holds on to P7, which is definitely going to be putting him through to the next session if things stay as it is right now. We got Red Devil currently doing purple sectors on the track as we're talking here, so he's looking to get up somewhere within that top 10 and be in a good position of making it on over here. So we'll see what's going to happen in that case. And I think Sam Robinson he just got knocked off of the session there, so he didn't make it back to the pits either with that 136.4, and that was a pretty good time. Definitely would have put him in a position to go over to qualifying 2 here. Let's see how this is going to work out, because I'm really not sure what's going to happen. We got Sam with a 136.4, VRS Media 136.7, Vintage at 137.0. All 3 of these times would have put them over into the next session, possibly. I'm not sure about Vintage's time, but still, it's not looking so good for them right about now. So we'll see how that works out. Red Devil currently at 136.8. He puts himself up into 9th. Not a bad place to be. We're on with Beefy here at the moment in the AlphaTauri. Let's see what his lap time is going to look like. Getting through Sector 3 at the moment, so should be finishing up this lap pretty soon. I'm going to enjoy watching this race, especially because it's going to be under the lights in the evening, in the night actually. I like the night races. They actually make it look pretty good in the game itself, especially here on F1 2021. At least it made that look pretty interesting, so not a bad viewpoint from this side of it. So Beefy goes 145.3, not the best lap for him. Walker goes 148.6, not the best lap for him either. So AlphaTauri not looking that strong this evening at the start of the session, at least. If they make it on over to qualifying 2, we'll see what they can do. But we got Walker here trying to get a faster time, and he's having a purple sector 1 on this go so far. I think he has some pretty good pace around here. Probably just has to avoid invalidating the laps, or just, I'm not sure. So maybe some of these few chicanes are giving him some problems. Let's have a look and see what he finishes off with this. We do have both Alpines down at 19 and 28 on the grid. That's Tyler and Scooby there. Not having the best of luck either. They're having a worse luck actually here right now. So let's see if they're able to get a lap time in before this session closes off. They're currently on hot laps and getting through the session. Glock currently is fastest in the session. Now he's a 133.9, I think that is there. Robbie now a 134.5. Goes a tenth faster than what Clocky had. So pushes the entire grid down the order a bit. Extremist up to 6 at the moment, 135.7. Not a bad time. So everyone getting pushed down the order and trying to get a faster time in before we close up this session. Still on with Walker here. Has a bit of traffic both in front and behind of him, but he's still trying to get on through with that, and hopefully he's able to finish a lap, possibly get himself up just a bit further up the field, just to make sure he's going to make it over to the next session. We got a lot of drivers after qualifying 1 here though. Quite surprising to see with that. And that's only a 148. No, actually, no, sorry, a 134.8 there from Walker, and he moves up into P5 with that. Tyler goes up into P7 now, 135.6. Beefy goes just behind his teammate, 135.4. It's about a few tenths down, or about a second down actually. So not too bad with AlphaTauri lining up in 5th and 6th on the grid at the moment with that here in qualifying 1. Results were out of time here qualifying 1 as well. And I think everyone's actually over with the session except for Robbie. They're getting back in the pits right now. So we're just going to wait for that to be over before we do get on with the qualifying 1 results. And then here we go. So we're going to have a look at our results and then head straight into qualifying 2. Was quite a bit interesting. A lot of drivers out. So I'm not sure how many drivers are actually going to be allowed over to qualifying 2 by the game here at this point. So let's see what happens with that. So it looks like only 11 drivers are going to make it on over to qualifying 2. Not what we expected, but we're going to have to work with it. So Glock, they're currently fastest in qualifying 1 with a 133.9. We got Robbie taking 2nd on that one there. We got Clark, he takes 3rd, Mikey in 4th, Walker 5th, BP 6th, Tyler in 7th. We got Neil there 8th, Extremist 9th, XS in 10th. We got Red Devil in 11th. That's our 11 drivers making it on over. The rest of the grid as we have at the moment, Mr. 8 starts 12. Sam Robinson will have to start 13. VRS Smitty starts 14. Vintage will have to start 15. We got Scooby will have to start 16, Tucker in 17, Page 18, Mazepin 19, and Cody during the session now will have to start 28 on the grid. We'll still have a look at the full starting grid on the formation lap itself before getting started with this race. So we're going to head straight on over to qualifying 2 now, and let's see what's going to happen in that session. Of course, we know that in qualifying 2 they're going to have to work in terms of tire strategy. Whatever tires they do the fastest lap time on, they're going to have to start the race on that set of tires, provided of course they make it over to qualifying 3, which 10 of them will, and there is going to be a dry start for the race. So hopefully that's is what's going to stand, because I'm not sure they want a wet race here at Abu Dhabi. Hopefully I can get someone to let us know what are the weather conditions going to be for the race session itself. Not so interested in the qualifying, I just want to know what the weather is looking like for the race session itself. Because so if one of the drivers can let us know that, either in the chat or in Discord, because I want to keep an eye on Discord, see what's going on with that. Actually, let me have a look here right now, see if there's any information on that. Actually, no information on that as yet. So can somebody in the Discord who's not driving at the moment and in the session let us know what the weather looks like so far there, so we can just have a look at that, and I will know if we're having a dry race or a wet race, and if these guys actually prepared for it or not, because I'm not sure if they did. Once again, welcome to all of our viewers currently on the stream there. Thanks for you guys for joining on. Please guys, make sure you're following us on Twitch, and make sure you are subscribed to us on YouTube, and also do check out the Facebook stream that we got going as well. All links are in the description of this video, so do check that out. Also, the link to join onto our channel Discord is going to be there. And why is no driver out on track as yet? Let's have a look, see what's happening. So we're going to keep tires on for this one. As you can see, a mix of strategies. So we do have drivers out. I just didn't switch on to anyone. Walker already out of the session. What on earth happened to him out on track there? Did he really go off at the end of this straight here? Let's have a look. I think that's where his car is. Unfortunate. That means he's not going to be over into qualifying. There's his car at the side of the track. So I'm not sure what happened to him there, but he is definitely out of qualifying 2 at this point. That's probably going to leave us with 9 drivers over in qualifying 3. We'll see how that's going to work out. A bit unorthodox, but it's going to happen that way just because that's how the game actually allows it to go. So we'll see what happens. But either way, let's get a few things off here. And we're going to keep on extremists on this outlap. He's currently going on. Love the metallic red as it shows in the lights here on that Alfa Romeo. If you guys can see it the same way I'm seeing it, it's a 60 FPS stream, so you guys should be able to actually see it as well. There, it should look. Yes, I'm not sure how to describe, but it looks really nice under the lights with the colors on the car. So that's why I kind of like evening races like this. Okay, so let's get on back here. Let me see what's going on. Welcome Waxwing, welcome to the stream there on. He's watching on chat. So 11 in qualifying 2. What did I miss? Yeah, so we had about 17 drivers starting off in qualifying 1. We had about another 3 drivers join on before that session ended. I think 1 or 2 of them did not get to make a lap time because maybe the time they joined the session. But we had a lot of drivers DNF in qualifying 1, which is what kind of caused only 11 drivers going on into qualifying 2. I don't know why they made the game to work that way, but that's kind of how it works. If drivers are off, DNF off, early off in the qualifying session, it reduces the amount of drivers going over to qualifying, the next qualifying session. Like in this case, we had Walker DNF before on his outlap. He's DNF on his outlap, getting out on track by the end of Sector 2, somewhere before the end of Sector 2 down that long back straight. That's where he DNF. So that means we're not going to have 10 drivers in qualifying 3. That's probably going to be like 9 drivers there. I think that's what is going to probably end up happening. It's been happening the same way on F1 2020 as well. It's something I noticed. I thought probably they would have probably like put a fix to that issue and stop that from happening. I'm not sure if they're ever going to do that or not, but I would have preferred if there even 15 drivers still went on over. But I think because the drivers DNF, that's why they do that. I'm not sure. That's just kind of how they said it. So we got excess at 134.8 so far in the session. A pretty good lap time there on the softs though. So let's see what these guys on the mediums are going to do. This is where it's going to get a bit interesting for us here, guys. Because we're going to have to see where the guys on the medium tires are going to be pulling off their lap times and what sort of lap times they're going to be pulling off. We're going to switch on over to, where's Neil? Neil is running on the mediums, but he's invalidated his lap. So I think he's about to get started on another one here right now. Let's have a look. Definitely going to have another go at this. So we're going to keep on board with him. Let's have a look on a lap here around the Abu Dhabi circuit. Pretty interesting one, getting through turn 1. Interesting left hand as he gets on through that into turn 2 and then straight on over to the right hand of turn 3. Always a bit interesting. Got to make sure you don't go wide on that left hand side there and invalidate your lap. And a pretty heavy braking zone into this one getting through here. So our purple sector 1 so far looking pretty good. And getting onto that very long back straight that we have here in sector 2, and a very good overtaking point here in the race. And this is a DRS zone as well, so it's going to be very interesting. But of course, coming down to the end of this is a very tight left hand that getting it wrong. So it's a heavy braking zone around here. You got to really be careful, especially when it's wet. It creates a lot of problem in terms of car trying to brake and going wide on that, or just overbraking yourself and losing position just because of what happens around there. But they're gonna have to be quite safe around that part, and we'll see what they're gonna do. Let's see, is he into sector 3? Yep, into sector 3 here already. Also an interesting part, navigating through these corners as he gets around, and always very distracting with all the lights all around the place as you want to look at them as you're driving as well. Like, look at all of that purple up there, and it switches colors, so just even more distracting. I wonder if that was purposely done. Alright, so about to finish off this lap in another turn that's left to go. A little bit slippery on that curb, as you got to be careful, careful on it as well. I know it was a lot of slippery on F1 2020, not so much on 2021, but still, you guys got to be careful. And that's the third fastest position that's going to go to Neil there, 135.9, just about 3/10. He's now down to 4th as Glock. His teammate now takes over the fastest lap there at 134.2. Pretty interesting lap, so not too bad with that so far. We got Clarky on an invalid lap. Let's see, Extremist here about to get across the line, and where does he go? Goes 7 fastest at 153.1. Not the best of lap there, but he will try to improve that. Has enough time. 8.5 minutes left in the session. Beefy in the pits. We got Robbie in the pits. Walker still out of the session. Not going to make it over to Q3, unfortunately, but we'll be starting somewhere in the midfield of the grid. Not the best position to be starting here at Abu Dhabi. It's not a very long run down into turn 1, but you got to be careful on it. But that back straight that we talked about just not too long ago, it's going to be a good point for the cars that do have some this is a bit of a runaway zone that we have here for cars that miss their braking zone, as he's just cutting on through now and getting around. Kind of things you got to know when being a driver here in F1 on any of these tracks. Just where all the runaway zones are, just in case you do miss a braking zone on track. Let's go back to Clarky here, who's got another lap going here right about now. Let's see how this lap is going for him. So far, it looks so good. I don't know, this hopefully doesn't invalidate the lap. Lap times are looking pretty competitive up front, and we can see much. I think all of the cars have done it on the mediums. Extremist time, let's just not count that. He did a horrible lap. That's a horrible lap. And Mikey's out of the session. He's retired off of it, possibly in the pits there. So I think he's happy with his 135.6. Feels like that's going to put him over in the qualifying 3 at this point. So really no point wasting time around here. He's not going to do another lap on that set of tires there and waste time on it, because remember, he has to start the race on that set of mediums, and if he's done a lap on them already, because remember, you have to do an out lap, that's 1 lap. You have to do the hot lap, that's another lap. You have to do an in lap, that's another lap. That's 3 laps done on that 1 set of tires just to get a fastest lap on them. And if you invalidate on the first occasion, you try another lap, then that's another lap. That's 4 laps done on them. You're losing all of this grip level on the tire. When you get onto the race session, you're going to do about 5 laps on them, 5-6 laps, and then get started on the race on that same set of tires. It's pretty old, not the best idea, especially on a race like this. And you got to just watch your race strategy, because I think it could possibly be a 1-stop strategy here, or maybe a 2-stop. We got to see what's going to happen when you get around to it, because if they're thinking about starting on the mediums, they could run a medium hard strategy, or just run a medium soft or medium soft medium. I'm not sure what they're going to try to do, but I think it's just about a 28 lap race with about close to about just over 1.5 minutes per lap. So they actually might do 2 stops here. In my opinion, I'm not sure. We might be running a medium soft, medium, or just a medium hard. I'm not sure what these guys are going to decide to do. It just kind of just depends. Also a lot on if safety cars come around during the session, because we know if there's a safety car on the 5th lap or 6th lap, a lot of cars are going to go into the pits and do a quick switch, especially if they have damage. You have to end up doing a change anyway. So let's see how that's going to work out. Beefy on a lap here at the moment as well. Where is he on track? Let's have a look if he's running a fast lap. And definitely is, as you can see. So these guys use a lot of those curbs. They use as much of it as possible just to get a wider angle in terms of getting the turn or getting through the turn as fast as they can. Just a bit of strategy that you can just notice these things as you just sit here and watch the way that these guys rev around the track. I've seen a lot of drivers, they put majority of the car over on the right hand, like on the right hand side. We got most drivers will go just a bit more on that right hand side and just use up a bit more space if they can. Of course, there are those bit of the little signs on the side of the track, whatever the heck you call them. They gotta try not to hit those as well. Even though they can't just break easily, you don't want to take a chance of getting any sort of wing damage here. And invalidates that lap, went a bit too much on the inside for this, so that's kind of what you got to just avoid. You cannot go so much on the inside because the rules are set to strict here with the league. You cannot just cut a track down on the inside. Just even a little bit is going to result in an invalidated lap, and you got to do this all over again. He's down to just 4 minutes 40 seconds left here. Maybe still has enough time to actually get a lap in and possibly put himself up maybe into the top 5 or 6 and get himself into qualifying 3 because his teammate is out. Unfortunate, but he's out, so he needs to make sure one of the cars here for the AlphaTauri team gets over in the Q3 at this point. Let's see how well that's gonna work out for them. Okay, get back out front. Let's see what's happening with the rest of our drivers that we got on track. Red Devil here on and out up, I guess. Let's have a look at him getting around the track in the meanwhile. But so far, looking quite good in this session. I love the lap times as they are. Those 124s, very, very impressive so far as we have them. 135s, even not too bad. The 137, Tyler, not the best, but it's going to put you over into qualifying 3 at this point as far as I see. Red Devil, though, might be pushing that down. Extremist has a chance of pushing it down. So both Alfa Romeos currently 8th and 9th on the grid here. Q2 stand a pretty good chance of getting a better lap time in. Of course, Extreme is still in the pits, so he might be getting out before the session closes off. We'll see what's going to happen. But Red Devil trying to currently get a lap started as he's about to get around that pit entrance. Let's see how this is going to go and why is he not wearing a helmet. I don't think that's allowed. I don't know why his character is not wearing a helmet in the car there. Yep, there we go. No helmet, and now he crashes the car. Let's have a look on board. The entire suspension is gone. Front wheel is gone. He's out of the session. Probably has a head injury. So he's out. Where is his teammate now? In the pits. Let's see if he's wearing a helmet when he gets on out here or not. Not sure. I think he's on a lap here. Let's have a look down at the bottom. About to get across the line. Let's see what this lap is going to look like as he gets across. Hopefully gets a good time in and goes up to P8 at 137.7. Just about 2 minutes 45 seconds left to go here in the session. So he's looking decently well. Still in a bit of a dangerous spot here right now, because with the way things are going during this qualifying session here with Slipstream, you gotta just be as high up in the session as possible to avoid being not going over to the next session. So let's see how that's going to work out. So currently, as we have a Glock still fast, that's 134 point, I can't even see what's there. So 134.2, and then Robbie 134.4, 2 tenths down. Another 4 tenths down is where XS is in P3 at the moment. He's on another lap 2, trying to get a faster time. I think he's driving an Alpine on the color that I'm seeing there. Okay, so far so good in the session. It has been quite interesting. I think this race session itself is going to be a lot of fun to watch. We're looking forward to quite a few exciting battles going on track, up and down the track. We're going to try and see how much we're going to be able to keep on up with. Not sure as yet. Let's go on over to XS here. Not a lot of drivers left running here. We got Robbie, XS, and Beefy are the only active drivers in this session right now. Everyone else is currently retired off the session. I'm just waiting for us to get over to qualifying 3 right about now. So we're waiting for these guys to finish. A minute and a half left, just under that actually. On with XS in the is it an Alpine or Williams? No, it's a Williams, sorry. I thought it was an Alpine. That's Tyler in the Alpine there. So waiting for XS here in the Williams to get a lap time in. Currently getting through sector 1. Let's see if he gets anything purple here, by the way. So far no purple, so we're gonna continue with that. And let's see if he's able to get any sort of improvement in his lap time. Of course, he did his previous time on a set of softs, I think. Let's see, was it a set of softs or a set of mediums? So his best was done on a set of softs. I think he's on another set of softs here right now. Yep, he is. And he's going to try to get a faster time in if he can. Looks like he wants to start the race on these soft tires. See if that's going to work. A majority of the grid trying to start on the mediums here. From what we can see right now, Extreme is in a very dangerous zone right now, along with Red Devil. Let's see who's going to make it over to qualifying 3 at this point here. Just about left with about 30 seconds right now, so not a lot of time left. Okay, so qualifying 2 results. Fastest driver in this session, that will be clocked there in a Mercedes at 124.232. Excess with a bit of a faster lap. There goes second, fastest at 124.296. So quite interesting. 600th of a second separates them. And looks like we got 9 drivers going on over. So third there was Robbie there. We got Clarky in 4th, Monkey 5th, Neil 6th, Tyler in 7th, Beefy in 8th, Extremist makes it on over in 9th. Red Devil unfortunately out of the session. Walker obviously out of the session for qualifying 3. And look at that, even a 153.1, it makes it on over for Extremist and pushes him over to the next session. And we got 2 drivers in the top 10 who are going to be starting on the softs. We'll see what Red Devil decides to do. He's going to be starting 10th on the grid. Okay, so over here in qualifying 3 right about now with our top 9 drivers as we have it. Let's have a few stats up on screen. I think we just need lap data turn on. We know everyone's going to be running on the soft tires, so no need to worry about tires and what they're running on. They're obviously not going to be running on the mediums. I highly doubt any driver would ever run on the mediums in the qualifying 3 session, because what kind of time are you going to be making with that unless something very, very strange is happening and this, the mediums are the fastest tires here. Anyway, let's have a look and see what's going to happen. We got majority of drivers out except for Beefy there. Let's see what the lap times are going to look like. We're already down to 10 minutes left in the session. We're qualifying 3. It's only 12 minutes, so not a lot of time to get it done, and they got to just get a rush on with it. We got 2 Mercedes in. Looks like we got 1 Alpine, 1 Williams. We got 1 Ferrari, both Haas, and 1 Alfa Romeo in the session. So good luck to them on that. Let's see how that works out. Okay, so I think we got Clarky here getting started on his lap already and just messed that up. I think I probably gave him some bad luck. And look at that spin, just spinning around with that car. And he actually avoids the barriers there. Those tires are probably shredded off though, so you might have to get a new set of tires. And it looks like he had a purple sector 1, I think. Unfortunate for that lap there. So he's gonna have to try that again. His teammate here running still on his hot lap, getting through. Let's see, I think he might be the first driver to settle off and getting a bit squiggly off that turn, but so far so good as he gets down these straight here. Very, very long straight. RPMs go way up here as well, but a very heavy braking zone at the end of this. This is where managing brake temps come in handy here in terms of racing. You got to just be careful getting an overtake done around that turn as well if you're trying to outbrake someone. So you got to be very careful. Let's see how this is going to work out between these two guys. We know Clock is not running a lap. He's going to let his teammate go by on his lap there. I don't know if he's going to try to give him a toe a bit for a second there. Purple sector 2 so far, so looking good here for Robbie in terms of finishing up this lap. Of course, no lap time setters here, so everything's going to be purple. Forgot about that. Alright, so let's see where he goes at the end of this and where the rest of the drivers will be, because we got a few drivers coming behind of him. I think Tyler might be the next driver coming on through, so we're going to see what the lap times are going to be looking like here as he gets finished with this lap in just another 2 turns or so to go here. I'm going to switch this on over to Tyler in just a bit. Alright, so Robbie gets across the line. Let's see what his lap time is. It's a 133.7. Very impressive so far. Let's have a look at Tyler as he's about to come across the line here right now in the Alpine. And let's see where he goes. We got both Mercedes coming after this. That is a 135.7. Not the best of time. And unfortunate, one of the Mercedes has clocked invalidated. I think he will back into the pits. Neil here getting across the line, is he? And getting started with his lap right about now. We do have Mikey now with a 135.2 so far. We got Extreme getting around here. Let's see where he goes on the grid. And goes with a 2-minute 3-second. Impressive lap for Extreme there. It's the first time we're seeing a 2 minutes in the session. I think he's going to try to improve it. He has enough time to do it. Just about 7 minutes, 16 seconds left though. So you got to get a rush on with this and get those lap times in. Where is Excess at the moment? Trying to get around here. Beefy trying to get around here as well on his current lap. Let's have a look at these two as they get across the line. And let's see what the lap times are going to look like. Haven't invalidated a lap so far, so that's a good sign there. As Beefy gets across, goes third fastest on the 135.2. There is Excess coming around on the final turn here right about now in the Williams and gets across the line. And he goes 6th fastest at 2-minute 5 second, and quite impressive. So maybe it's a battle between Extremist and Excess on this one. We'll see what's going to happen. On with Clarky here in the house, not having the best of time into the wall there, and that's his session over with. Going to be starting 9th on the grid there with that. Neil here running another lap at the moment, possibly on that same set of tires as well. Let's see where he goes at the end of this here. A lot of yachts. Just noticing the yachts. Is it even fun watching from the yachts? Are they having a good view? Kind of similar to Monaco, which will be having a race there at tomorrow and Thursday. Neil goes 2nd fastest and said not a bad time, a 135.1, but impressive time so far from the Haas driver Robbie there, a 133.7. Unfortunately, his teammate is out of the session, so that's currently a provisional pole there for Robbie for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix here. So let's see if he's going to be able to hold on to that at the end of this, because we know everyone is currently heading back into the pits, trying to get possibly a new set of tires on and getting back out on track here and trying for another lap in the next 5.5 minutes that we have left. And hopefully they're able to make a better time. Of course, they're not going to be starting worse than 9th unless you can somehow get a 5 place grid penalty for doing something stupid. And trust me, it can happen. I've seen it done before. So there goes Excess. 2nd fastest now in the session, 134.159. And Neil down to 3rd at 135.162. Just about a second separate them here. So we got 2 very impressive lap times so far. Robbie there 133.7, Excess 134.1. Let's see if they hold off to that, because currently Robbie and Excess looking to start on the front row. Robbie, of course, starting on pole there if he holds on to that time. Waiting for the rest of the grid to get back out here on track. Let's see how that's working out for them. Let's keep on the Williams here right now. Let's see if he's going for another lap or not. I'm not sure as yet, but we'll see how that's working out. Okay, so we got a few drivers that started to head back out on track. Glock there down in the bottom. Let's have a look at him for a second because he's now back on his out lap. Try to get a final lap in here. We got 3 minutes left in the session, so not a lot of time. Remember, it takes just about a minute and a half and over to get around the track on an out lap, and then you got to do the hot lap. So that's about a full 3 minutes. So by the time he gets finished with his hot lap, I think that's going to be his final lap there. I don't think he's going to be able to make another one unless he makes it over the line before that timer runs out on his hot lap itself. We'll see how it works out for him. But he's looking at possibly getting that done here right about now, already halfway through the circuit, about to get into sector 3, and then at the end of that getting started with his lap. So I think we have most of the drivers are going to start to get back out on track. Mikey looks like he's already on his second hot lap to get started with that, and let's see if he's able to improve his time. Currently 4th on the grid, but definitely looking possibly to be starting a bit more out front. We're going to keep on board just a bit with the Mercedes as he gets around here. That car came out of nowhere very quickly out of the pit lane there. Alright, so we got Glock on his lap here right about now. Has some free air in front of him. Just did a purple sector 1 here in the Mercedes. Let's see if he is able to transition that to a purple sector 2 and 3 as well. Might be looking to get a provisional pole for the start of this race. So let's see what's going to happen. Getting around that very long straight. Once again, welcome to all of you guys who are joining on the stream live with us. Good to have you on. Don't be shy to say hi in the chat. Do enjoy when you guys get a bit active in the chat as well. I know quite a few of the drivers are on the session, but they're not just going to be typing because they're currently driving at the moment. Alright, so that's a purple sector 2 as well. So we're looking pretty good with this lap so far. He just needs to finish off sector 3 without invalidating the lap and possibly trying to get it purple as well. That's going to be a fastest lap and possibly put him on pole for the start of this race. We'll see how that's going to work out. So far, so good. Clark is looking to get pushed down though to P9 for the start, which is not the worst possible start there for him, as I'm quite sure he's going to be working his way up the field itself. So we'll see how that works out. Just out the final turn to get around here, and there we go. We got Glock getting across the line here right about now, and he goes fastest in the session at 133.2, takes away provisional pole away from Robbie, and that was quite an impressive lap. 5/10 faster, not too bad at all. And thank you very much to Stu B there for following us on Twitch. So we got just like about 10 seconds left in this session. Who is currently finishing a lap will be able to finish it. Robbie stuck on track, not finishing that lap. We got XS here getting into sector 2 right now in this current lap. So not purple, so not looking like he's going to go as well as he possibly expected here. Oh, we got Sammy there following us on Twitch now as well. Thank you very much for doing that. Do appreciate that. And of course, I'm going to ask when you guys do get a chance, check out the YouTube channel, subscribe to us there as well. Because YouTube generally is our main streaming channel. Just we do most of the stuff, or the esports races on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook just at the same time. But do check us out there as well. Where is XS on track? Is he doing another lap or not? I think he's on another lap here, finishing off that and possibly trying to still get a faster time. And if he can, Beefy as well looks like he's trying to finish that up. We'll see how that works out. So Clock there, fastest in the session, provisional pole for him so far. Robbie not going to finish whatever he's doing there right about now, so he's not going to be able to beat that time. Mikey there already done. XS here still running a lap. Neil back into the pits. He looks like he's starting 5th at the moment if things stay the way they are. We do have Beefy in 6th, Tyler down 7, Extremis in 8. Robbie's out of this, so we know that already. Let's see if Beefy, Tyler, or XS here is possibly going to get a faster time. It looks like XS already invalidated. He's out of this already. Let's go on down. And I think that's it right about now. Only driver left moving on track is XS to retire from the session. And Glock here as well. Everybody getting back into the pits right now. And this is closing out qualifying 3. Very exciting session. Very impressive lap times there from the guys as well, and we're going to see how well that race start is going to go. We got a Mercedes and a Haas starting on the front row of this race. Going to be one heck of a start getting into turn 1, and I'm just going to see if we're going to have a safety car with that midfield or not. Not sure as yet, because we got some very fast drivers in the midfield. It's unfortunate with qualifying is what put them down there, so we'll see how that's going to work out. Okay, so there we have it. Fastest lap here in qualifying 3 and provisional pole goes to clock there, starting the Mercedes 133.2 was his lap time. Not too bad with that. Robbie starting second on the grid. We got Mikey starting third. X is going to start fourth. Neil starting fifth. Beefy in sixth. Tyler seven. Extremist in eighth. And Clarky, unfortunately, because of his DNF in the session, will have to start in ninth on the grid. But not so bad of a position. He might be able to jump ahead by 2 positions at least, maybe in that start. We'll see how it goes for him. His teammate, though, having a pretty good start there in second place on the grid, so he'll be right on the front row alongside Glock there, so he might have a good run into turn and possibly get that position up if he gets a pretty good start. We'll see how that works out. Coming up in about another 20-25 seconds, we're getting ready for the formation lap, and we'll have a look at the full starting grid before getting started with the race there. Okay, so getting started on the formation lap, we're going to get a few stats up on screen. You guys can have a look at what's happening here. So tires on, and let's have a look at the starting grid. Looks like it's going to be a 28 lap race around the Abu Dhabi circuit. And of course, this is round 3 currently, guys, here with Slipstream Racing League Sunday Division. Let's have a look at our starting grid. So Glock starting P1 on the grid. We got Robbie starting alongside him in second. Mikey's going to start third. We got XS starting fourth. Neil starting fifth. Beefy starts sixth. Tyler qualified to start seventh. There, Extremist in eighth. Clarky in ninth. And that was qualifying 3 drivers there. Red Devil is going to start 10th on the grid. Walker starting 11th. Quite sure he's going to be hurrying to get through that field. Mr. Ray starting 12th. Another one there. Sam Robinson starting 13th. Smitty starts 14th. Vintage in 15th. Scooby there starts 16th. We got Tucker there will start 17th on the grid. Page starting 18th. We got Mazbin 19th. And Cody starting 20th on the grid. I think he joined on middle session, so he didn't actually get to get a lap time in. So we got quite a few drivers who are currently in the midfield and currently along in the back of the grid as well, that are going to be starting and trying to work their way up their grid here. And as we can see, it's a 28 lap race. We got majority of the cars starting on the mediums here. Only 1 car in the top 10 starting on the softs, 3 down at the bottom of the grid starting on the soft. This is going to be quite an interesting start to this race, and we'll see how well that's going to go. Looking to be a 2-stop race here. Looking to see what the pit strategy is going to be. Might be a 3-stopper or a 4-stopper for some drivers, just depending on damage and safety cars and VSCs. We'll see how well that race start is going to go. We're getting through sector 3 here right about now. We will be getting the cars reformed back on the grid in just a bit there. Of course, as we said, we got a Mercedes and a Haas on the front row to get started with this race, and hopefully they can get some points in there at the moment. So we'll see how that's going to work out for them. Alright, so as we're about to get started here right about now, we're going to stay on board with our guy there in second, who's currently on the left hand side. That's going to be taking it inside into turn 1. We're going to put lap data keeps that on. We're going to put this over to position change. You guys are going to have a look at that as we get started. Let's have a look, see who gets a better start down in the run into turn 1 here as they're about to get started. Looks like they got a bit of an equal start. Block tries to hold on to the outside, and the Haas is going to follow along the inside. Let's have a look at the rest of the grid getting on through. So far so good. I don't see any major contact. We got a Mercedes going wide there, and it keeps it going through at least for now. Williams goes a bit wide as well. Of course, everything trying to keep on the track as much as they can. I think that Alpine trying to outbrake someone into the next turn. Let's see how well that's actually going to go for him. So we got quite a bit of a train going on through. Cars trying to avoid contact, trying to avoid damage as much as they can. Let's have a look and see with the grid out front what's happening there right now. I'm trying to follow on with these two. Looks like Tyler here trying to get ahead of that Williams, and has Extremist getting by him as well, so he's up into 5th. Got Tyler in 6th, and a bit of a change up as they all get on through. Out in front, Glock continues to lead, though his teammate Neil running in 4th at the moment, up by 1 position. Extremist has gained about 3 positions so far on that start. Top 3 right where they started on this race, and they're still running there at the moment. Looks like Tyler here currently running 80s. I think he possibly is a down a position right now. Beefy there has lost 3 positions on that start so far. Quite an interesting start, so let's change that over to tires at the moment. Actually, we're going to take tires off and on until we start to get some pit stops happening here. And let's head back out front and see what the gaps are looking like. Extremists here looking to have a pretty close gap, but not what as it seems there right about now. I'm going to keep this on here and see what's happening. So down for the middle of the field, we're having some action going on at the moment. Quite of a train of cars coming on through, and yes, we know what the strategy is going to be. I don't know why that keeps coming on screen. Alright, so we got Excess and Neil trying to fight for a position here for P5 in the race so far. I think, what happened? Was there a car into the side of the track? Tyler, I think, just went into the barriers on the side. I'm not sure, because we have a virtual safety car right now. Something happened to Tyler down at the bottom of the, he's all the way down at the bottom of the grid right about now. Looks like Walker was disconnected from his car. He's back connected right about now. I'm not sure where he is on the grid right now. I think he's down there in 14th. And I think he's now going to get connected back to his car, currently running here. Not sure even the grid order is correct at the moment. We're just going to have to ignore that for now. We know Glock is leading out front. Let's have a look on where he is. Currently following out front and still under a virtual safety car here. So we got Page into the pits. Going to have quite a way to catch back up to the rest of the grid there. So this is going to slow the grid down for just a bit. Looks like Excess here has quite a bit of traffic behind him coming through. So he's going to try to get away from these guys as fast as he can. We're on lap 2 right about now for 28. Let's see how well this race is going to go in terms of safety cars. So far so good. We just had a virtual safety car for just one driver being out of the session. Unfortunate for Tyler there in the Alpine. So I think we still got one Alpine left there. So let's see how that's going to work out. I think I'm going to just take back tires off for now. I think we really need that here at the moment. So let's just keep that off for now. And waiting for those gaps to start come back online. And let's have a look. We got still a lot of drivers bunched up here right about now. Excess here has Clarky coming behind him. Pretty close gap. Just about a 4/10 gap is what it looks like right now. I'm going to go down to the rest of the field and have a look what's happening down at the back here. Because we got Beefy being chased by Mr. Rage in that Red Bull. Just about a second behind. So still a pretty close gap to work with. Clarky there chasing after Excess as much as he can. We got Neil into the pits. We got Robbie into the pits. Quite a few pit stops happening here. I guess his car with damage, and looks like Walker has retired from the session. What's happening to his car? Down in the middle of the track, that's another virtual safety car. I was wondering if we were going to have a full safety car for that one there. So that's our second VSC so far in the session for Walker being out. 2 drivers lost, 18 remain right about now to finish up this race. And we got some pit stops happening down at the back of the grid. Let's get our back out in front and see what's happening. So this is changing things up quite a bit. As we said, we did expect to have safety cars or VSCs in this race. Go for 2 virtual safety cars. No full safety cars yet. I think some of the drivers might be waiting for a full safety car before taking a pit stop at this point as it is there right now. So let's keep an eye and see what's going to happen out front. A bit of a gap starting to form between drivers as we have it, as some of them are losing time, some of them are gaining time. Can't really tell what's happening, but out in front, Clock is gaining time right now. 3.2 seconds is what the gap is between him and Mikey down there in second. Extremist running third at the moment, another 1.5 second gap. Excess, of course, running very close by behind in the Williams. Just 1.2 seconds average about that. And waiting for that VSC to be over right now to get back racing here. They have to keep their delta positive just to avoid speeding under the virtual safety car, and that leads to a penalty, which you really don't want to have. Because I think our VSC should be over pretty soon by the time possibly we get it wrong here. And there we go. So track is green again, and we're back going. And looks like Excess gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. And as we said before, you do not want to get that penalty, because it really slows you down, and you cannot do it during the virtual safety car or the safety car. You got to do it after, and the entire grid gets going at race pace, and you just going slowly through the pits like this. Oh, he's doing a pit stop as well. Oh, so you see he's doing a pit stop. He still has to come back in within the next 3 laps to do this. So, and Tucker gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in a pit lane, unfortunately, and he's running down there in 14. Let's get him back out in front right about now. Have a look at the race leaders here. Clock still leading ahead of this Ferrari here by 2.1 seconds, and I think he's still in viewpoint, just getting away there right now. Extreme is still running third here, 1.7 seconds behind. Clocky in the Haas, still running in fourth at the moment there. I think his teammate is currently down in 13, has done a stop so far. Let's get this off of stops at the moment. Just keep an eye and see what's going on down here with Scooby and Alpine. Let's see what's happening with him as he's chasing after Smitty here. Might try to take it on the inside, but actually no, doesn't want to really risk that right about now. Not a lot of room of trying to take it there. I might just end up with some contact between the two cars. Smitty getting a bit twitchy off those exits. Not the best exit as he's getting there. That Alpine seems to get a better run after him and might actually chase him through. Might just wait for a DRS zone though before actually making that overtake. So let's see how well this goes on through for him. Might want to do that overtake over in sector 1. So might just keep following on through. Does have a Williams of Sam Robinson coming behind of him. It's only about 1.3 seconds, 1.2 seconds actually. So needs to be just a bit careful with that in terms of trying to follow on through. But the gap is actually extremely close. Gets a pretty good exit as well. Let's follow on through in sector 1. This might be where this overtake might happen. We might have to just wait until sector 2 in that very long straight using the DRS advantage. So let's see if that's going to work out. Looking... not really looking a bit cloudy, just getting a bit dark here right about now. Almost goes a bit wide there as well, so let's see how much longer he's able to keep this up. Gap is about 6/10 is what it is right now. Mr. Rage having a pretty good gap with Beefy out front. For P4 it's about a 7/10 gap, so that chase will continue on for a while. And let's see how it's gonna go. We got Mikey and XS currently into the pits. They're apparently getting back out, I assume. There's a McLaren there. I was wondering if that was Mazepin getting out of the pits or not. I'm not sure because we got Smitty out front here with us. So I think that was Mazepin getting out of the pits there. So gap still just around 6/7 here with this Alpine of Scooby and the McLaren of Smitty out front. So he's still trying to catch him. He's going to be maybe just a few laps more. Might have to just set himself up for this because it doesn't look like he's going to get this done that easily there. Let's switch on over just out in front of the grid right now. We're following our clock. He's currently running P3 in the Haas, chasing after Extremist in the Alfa Romeo just in front of him. Glock, of course, leading in the Mercedes out front by about 4.7 seconds. He's having his own race out front. I think he's trying to extend that gap as much as he can, so he's going to continue doing that. In the meanwhile, these two are going to fight for second place on the podium here. Beefy about 3.6 seconds behind of this. Not the best of luck with that because he's currently under pressure right now with that Mercedes chasing after him. 4/10 behind. And let's have a look and see how that's going for him because Mr. Rate is catching up very, very quickly and decreasing that gap. I'm going to go on to that very long straight there in sector 2 right about now, which is not going to be good for him because this is going to give Mr. Rate a bit of DRS advantage here. I say on board with the Red Bull right now, and let's see how close he gets. We can see Beefy pulling all the way to the left side of the track, trying to keep him out, and going to force him the long way around. He doesn't take the chance to go through that gap. He just holds the position there in 5th, but he will take the chance possibly on the next lap to try that overtake. He just needs to keep the gap just about 3 to 4/10. Keep as close as he can to Beefy here, and he's possibly going to have it done around this turn. I know it's a safety car, and it puts a pause on that battle for now, so I'm not sure what's caused the safety. It looks like it's a DNF with excess down in the back of the grid. Let's see if we can have a look, see what happened here. And I think it's out. Oh, there's his car that side of the track, but the leaderboard was blocking it there for a second. So we got quite a few pit stops happening, possibly during the safety car. Let's see what's going to happen. Neil already getting out of the pits. 3 drivers lost in this race so far. We're down to 17 remaining. We're on with Neil down at the back of the grid here. Tucker in front of him. Maspin in front of that. Page in front of that. Mikey in front of 13. Robbie 12. We got Cody in 11. Vintage running 10. We're going to follow on out in front. We get our race leader Glock here getting into the pit lane right about now. Switching off those mediums. Getting onto a new set of mediums. So it's a 2-stopper definitely for him there. Doing a second set of mediums. Possibly going to do a set of soft tires to go to the end of the race with on... we'll see what lap he actually decides to do that. Maybe around lap 20, 18, 20 or so. I'm not sure. We'll see how it works out. Looks like Extremist continues on through as he is now leading the race. Let's put on tires and have a look and see what's happening out on the track there. It's a full safety car right about now. We got Extremists continuing on now. Did not do a stop. Of course, we know these medium tires can run a very long stint before actually these drivers have to do a stop. Soft tires, we would expect to have to do a pit stop right about now, which is why I was kind of surprised to see a lot of drivers trying to start the race on the mediums itself. I did expect a few of them would have possibly wanted to start on the soft, expecting a safety car within the first 30% of the race to do a stop there and then possibly go on to mediums or maybe even a set of hards to push all the way to the end of the race. But of course, I would think they would have taken the chance with a medium because they were expecting another safety car later on in the race, about 70% in, 70-75% in, and possibly get another stop in and save some time under the pit stop during that safety car as well. We'll see how it works out. So out in front, looking pretty good for AlphaTauri right now because we got him, got Beefy there driving up into second place on the grid. Hasn't done a pit stop as yet, though. Will have to do 2 stops possibly here. I'm not sure what the strategy is going to be if he's going to do 1 stop. We got some collisions happening during the safety car, and that does tend to happen, surprisingly, to a lot of people, but does tend to happen a lot. I've done it before. You tend to hit the car in front of you, or a car behind you is going to hit you during a safety car because nobody likes driving this slow. During a race session. So Extremist leading, Beefy running second, Mr. Rage up into third. We got Red Devil up into fourth now. Glock, who was previously leading this race, is now running fifth. We got Sam Robinson, didn't take a stop, he's currently running sixth. Glock, he took a stop, he's 7th. Smitty took a stop, he's currently 8th. We got Mikey, who took a previous stop, he's currently 9th. We got Scooby, who took a stop, he's 10th. We got Vintage in 11th, took a stop as well. We got Paige there, didn't take a stop as yet, currently running 12th. We got Robbie 13th, we got Cody in 14th, Masbin 15th, Tucker in 16th. They're currently running 17th on the grid. I think he was doing his drive-through penalty, I think, possibly, before that safety car happened, because he has 3 laps done on this set of mediums that he currently has on. So I'm not sure what the situation is with that. He might be going back racing at the end of this lap. We'll see how that works out. Red Devil into the pits right now during the safety car, and he's going to be pushed down the order quite a bit there, so unfortunate for that. We're going to see how the restart is going to go with the cars out front, because top 3 at the moment, along with Sam Robinson there in 5th, all old tires on the cars. So cars around there having fresh mediums are going to have a bit more pace in terms of trying to get an overtake done on that restart. We'll see them doing a lot of weaving around the track and just trying to keep those tires up to temperature. Of course, they got to watch the brake temps as well, driving at these temperatures here, these speeds here, and just be careful with everything on the car just to make sure everything's back up to the correct temperature before they do get back racing. Otherwise, it's going to cause a bit of issues and might just end up in a result in another safety car. We'll see how well it's going to go though, because at the moment going pretty well. We had an interesting qualifying session. If you guys missed that, have a look at it at the end of the stream there, and getting a true qualifying 2 and 3 especially, in terms of the lap times that we have, very interesting. So we do expect quite a few more good battles to go on through with the race session itself. You can see these cars are very close off together, except for Robinson there in 5th. There's a 7-10 gap away, but I think he's going to try to keep close before the end of the safety car here. So let's see if we're about to get back racing here or not. We're waiting for these guys to get into sector 3. That's going to be the end of this straight here. At least by then we're going to know if we're about to get back racing or not. Well, I noticed we're into sector 3, but we haven't had any confirmation from race control as to whether we're going back racing here or not. So I'm not sure about that as yet, but we're just going to have to wait and see. If that safety car doesn't start to go away from these guys, then we are not going to go back racing in this lap. Possibly going to have to wait another one. Oh, there we go. So the safety car is now going away, and we're about to get back restarted here with the session going into lap 9 of 28. So about to get back restarted. Let's see how that restart goes between Beefy and Extremist. Extremist trying to get away as fast as he can right now. 7-10 gap, so he's going to work with that clock here, running fourth. 2 tenths behind that Red Bull, and he's definitely going to try to get an overtake done as soon as he can. We got Clarky already got a move done on Robinson. He's up into 5th, so it puts I think there's in Williams. He's down to 6th now. Of course, Smitty chasing behind that. We'll see how that's going to work out. We got the Mercedes block definitely trying to get alongside that Red Bull, having a bit of a difficult time, but he's still going to push on through for this. We're going to get on board just a bit, and we're going to go to that back straight right about now. So this is where it's going to happen for most of the overtakes as we get on through here. He's going to have a lovely slipstream getting through down into that next turn there. He's now going to pull alongside the Red Bull, going to take it on the inside, and sheer pace of the Red Bull is actually holding up into P3. He's going to have to outbrake him to get this overtake done. Let's see if he actually gets that done. Actually pushes on through the inside, but the Red Bull is going to pull it back on the next turn. And a bit of contact between them as the Mercedes goes a bit wide, but still gets the position up. And now loses the position to the Haas, who gets out front. That's Clarky getting up into P3. So he gains an advantage of 2 positions off of these two fighting for 1 position here. Got Neil with a 3-second penalty down at the back of the grid there. So let's have a look and see what's happening. So Extremist continues out front. Beefy continues second. Clock is now up by 2 positions after that restart into third. Clock is currently running up into 40. Gains a position against the Red Bull driver, Mr. Rage here, who now has a penalty to deal with and is down to 5th. Lost about 2 positions here. VRS Smitty running in 6th. 7-10 gap with Robinson behind of him. Mikey a 4-10 gap to Robinson in front of him. So he's going to try to gain that position if he can. We're going to go down to Robbie here, currently in 10th. And see how this is working on. Mikey just getting a position against the Williams driver there, and he goes up into 7th as well. So already following on with Robbie. That's about a 3-10 gap for him to get past Scooby in the Alpine, and he's probably going to be looking to get that done down the run. Let's have a look here quickly. I see you can see Red Devil trying to get ahead of the Aston Martin ahead of him. Cody having just a bit of worries here at the moment. Got a McLaren coming behind Red Devil as well. So 2 cars to deal with. Let's see how well this is going to play on through, because the gaps are looking very close between the McLaren and the Alfa Romeo at the moment. And he's trying to block them off, but still might be able to get that position down. Robbie gets up into 8th right now against Robinson, who's currently all the way down to 9th. So those old tires are not doing him any good. And there goes a spin on the Alfa Romeo. That's Red Devil spinning around. He's going to try to get back going. I think he reset it on track. That might not have been allowed. He might suffer a penalty in the next race for doing that there. Neil here currently up into 15th. A 2-10 gap to Page in front of him. Looking to get ahead of the Red Bull driver right now. He's going to take it on the inside and actually gets the overtake done. No contact between them, so quite cleanly done so far. And he gets up into 14th. Going to chase after Mazepin, who's just about 2 seconds ahead of him. We're going to go back out front, have a look what's happening with Clarky here. He's trying to get ahead of Beefy for a 2nd place on a podium position as well. Those fresh tires are definitely working pretty well. Glock chasing after them in 4th place here, so a 6-10 gap. So not as close as what Clarky currently has. Let's see if the Haas driver is going to be able to get into the lead, because I think that's what his aim is here at the moment. And looks like Extremists might be having some trouble up front. I'm not sure, but those medium tires definitely will not be having as much of grip as what Clarky's has on here right about now. So definitely by the time I think we get around to that straight down in the back there, but DRS is now online as well. This is going to get a bit interesting around that straight there in sector 2. Robbie gets the fastest lap in currently in the session. Let's see how that's going to work out. Glock there falling down the order. He's into the pits right now, switching on to I think a set of softs and getting back out. So a bit of an interesting change from him there. Let's see how that's going to work out. I'm not sure if he took some damage, which is why he's taking that stop. Oh, there we go. We got Clarky taking it alongside Beefy there and gets up that position before they actually get to the end of the straight here. And he goes up into 2nd place. A 7-10 gap to the race leader Extremist out front, who is now going to have to defend until he's ready to do his stop here, just to keep his car out in that position there and continue leading this race. Beefy though in a pretty good position still, down to P3. Does have to take a stop very soon though. And Mr. Ray still running in P4. Mikey up to P5 at the moment. We got Smitty there just about less than a 10th behind, chasing after him in What is happening to Beefy right now? I think he had a bit of a spin. He spun around. Not sure if he had contact with the race leader out front, but he spun around, possibly lost the rear end of the car, and that happened. He is now down into 10th position, a bit of yellow flag situation. I think that's over as well. As he's gotten back going, he was all the way up into a podium position on the third. Unfortunately, all the way down the middle of the grid there. Out in front, Clark is still following on with our race leader here. And up into lap 12 here right about now. We're approaching the halfway point of this race here right very soon, another 2 laps or so. And there goes the race leader having a spin. So we got a lot of spins happening on track here, and that was absolutely no contact with Clark here, who now takes over the lead of the race. He's going to be kicking himself down at the bottom there as he's fallen quite a few positions now. Extremist is all the way down into P5. Those mediums probably starting to give up just a bit, or just having a bit of trouble controlling the car around some of these turns. Getting onto that power a bit early is going to cause quite a few spins here. We'll see how that works out. But Clarky getting some good luck here. Up into the lead now of the race. Mr. Rake now running second as well. He's up into another position. Still having that penalty though. We do have Mikey here into P3, 2.3 seconds behind. We're going to go down to Scooby here in the Alpine, chasing after Robertson in that Williams. Let's see, he's trying to get an overtake down on the inside. A Ferrari coming behind of them, I think there. So no contact with that overtake. The Ferrari trying to get an overtake down as well, but he's going to have to hold his position for now. We do have Mazepin coming just behind of that. We'll see how that's going to work out. But a pretty close run is going to happen here because Vintage is going to get a bit of a slipstream going on behind. He might still try to pull this overtake down in the next few turns coming up. Let's see if he tries it or not. I think he's trying to hold it off for now because he sees that Robertson is still trying to get past Scooby and trying to take back the position, but not able as yet. 6/10 is what the gap is, and I think he's going to continue on that way for now. Because it looks like Scooby still has now just about a 4, 5, 10 gap. And about a 10th he gets past. Something's happening out front. Not sure what's happening here, but the Extreme is getting back in the mix, and he's currently running down in 8th right now. He's losing positions as he gets down further down the field. We're still following on with Vintage and Robinson here. Mazepin just behind us in the McLaren, about 2/10 behind. And a bit of a change up happening with these two. What are now? We got cars in the pits. Sorry, my bad now. So Extremist in the pits. We got Robinson in the pits as well. Out in front, we got Mazepin chasing after the Ferrari in front of him right now. We got Glock getting the fastest lap there, and those soft tires working very well for him as he's currently running 12th on the grid. We're on lap 13. Let's see how the rest of this race is going to play out, because it's looking quite interesting in terms of race strategy so far with the cars that we got going. We'll be getting a penalty there as well. Clarky leading out front. He needs to avoid getting any sort of penalty here right about now to make sure he doesn't cost himself a race win here this evening. Currently 5 laps done on that set of tires that he has on there. We got Mazepin trying to take it around the inside of that Ferrari. Looks like Vintage loses that position. He gets the position up into 6th. Vintage now running 7th. And he loses back to position. What's happening here? He spun around, so Mazepin got the overtake done and then had a spin. That was lovely to see. Best of luck he's having out on tracks. He's now down to 12. So gained 1 position, lost about 5. We're going to go back up here with Cody in 7th place at the moment. In the Aston Martin chasing after Vintage right now. So Vintage got a bit of a lucky streak there. He got his position back up into 6th. Now we're having some trouble with getting a bit wide here. And the Aston Martin goes by up into 6th. So Cody gets a bit of a break there as well. He gets up into 6th place. Vintage is now down to 7th. And Glock is coming in behind Neil now. And Neil currently just behind Vintage in the Mercedes. And he goes wide once again. That is Neil up another position. Vintage down another position here. And I think he's gone into the pits there now. So Glock is going to continue behind in 8th. And chase after his teammate here. He now is on the faster tires. Of course, we got another safety car happening. I think Vintage has chosen the right time to do a pit stop here under a safety car. He's going to get in and out to the pits. And I think the rest of the grid might choose to do pit stops. Whoever hasn't done a pit stop as yet, they're definitely going to want to do it at this point here right now. Let's have a look if our race leader is going to decide to do a stop here or not. Currently getting a wrong sector 2. I highly doubt he might do a stop at this point here in the race though. I think he might just continue on just to keep the lead, because he's going to have to watch the gap that he has to the cars behind. At most, if he does a stop, he might be out back on the grid in P4 if he does do a stop at this point. We're on lap 14. This is the halfway point of the race right about now. So if he's going to go on to a set of hards to push all the way to the end, he needs to make that decision right about now and decide what exactly he's going to do. We're going to keep on board or just have a look on overhead with the horse driver here. Let's see if he decides to do a pit stop at this point or not. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Mr. Rage, of course, I think he will do a pit stop. He's done 13 laps on those tires so far. Getting pretty old. He needs to do a stop at this point. And I think he stands a pretty good chance of finishing the race with a one-stop strategy here. Might just go on to a set of hard tires and go all the way to the end of the race. He's done 13 laps so far on those mediums. We got another 14 laps to go. We got the race leader into the pits. That's 7 laps on that set of tires. Let's see what he's going to choose to go on. Is it going to be a set of softs or a set of mediums? I'm not sure what the strategy is going to be. Of course, he has to use 2 different tire compounds in the race, and he's going to go into a set of softs. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make it all the way to the end of the race. There's a very, very good chance, and I think he's serving a penalty, or is he back out? No, he's going to back out. So we're going to follow along the safety car for another 2 laps at least before we get back racing. So it's going to be not the end of this lap, not the end of the other lap, possibly we're going to get back racing. So let's put that at least maybe 12 laps of racing, of full racing on this set of softs, and it's very much possible to pull that off with the amount of time we have remaining in this race. We're following on under the safety car still for lap 15. We're possibly going to go under it still for lap 16. We're possibly getting back racing at the end of lap 17. That puts us about 11 to 12 laps of racing, and the soft tires can actually pull it off on this track here. I assume they should be able to. It's going to be a close call getting on to the final lap, but they should be able to pull it off, and I think that's what they're planning to do. Cody here hasn't done a stop though. He's up in the Aston Martin running in 3rd place on the grid right now. He has on the hard tires, 7 laps only done on them. He definitely can make it to the end of the race, but the problem he's going to have here is, will those tires provide the race pace enough for him to keep that position that he currently has, or is he going to be losing too many positions to fight for even a podium position or try to finish in the top 6 at least here. We got to see how that's going to work. A Glock here, 3 laps done on his mediums. Looks like he's not going to do a stop. He's going to push all the way to the end of the race on those set of soft tires. So might just have to do another set, going to the next set, depending on how it's working out. If you have another safety car, he's going to stand a good chance of making another switch there. He might just be hoping for that. We'll see what happens. We got Mr. Rage currently running in 5th at the moment, as it is here right now. Not sure what's happening with these cars here. Let's go back to the race here. Follow me behind the safety car. So Mr. Rage running 5th. He's on with new hards. Smitty on with fresh mediums. Page running 7 with 12 laps on those mediums. Those tires are going to have to go. And let's see if the Red Bull driver does a pit stop or not. Robbie there running 8. 2 laps on the softs. Can possibly make it to the end. Scooby there, fresh mediums. And as well as the rest of the grid, fresh tires to go all the way down to the bottom with Extremes in 16th. So this is going to get a bit dicey going down to the end, especially with Cody in the mix in P3, 7 laps on those hards. Mr. Rage on fresh hards, but still, it's hard tires. They're not going to have the pace that the mediums and the softs are going to have around here, and it might just put them at a bit of a disadvantage. So we're going to have to see how this is going to work out getting on to the end of the race. Okay, sorry about that. So we're back. Restarted with the race here right about now. Let's see how that restart is going between our drivers out in front. Looks like Glock is losing to get an overtake down already against Aston Martin, and he's going to get around the outside. Gets the position up, and he's now up into P3. That's a podium position for him. We do have the Aston Martin still fighting this back, and might not end as well as he expects. So he's going to have to avoid any contact as they get around with that there right about now. Pretty close gap between most of our drivers coming on through the grid. We're going to move on just a bit further onto the back here. Have a look at Mr. Rage right about now on those fresh hards, trying to get a past Cody here in the 9-lap old hard tires. Let's see if that's going to work out for him, as Cody has already lost one position after this restart so far. Down in the back, Mazepin and Vintage having a pretty close gap, along with Extremists there as well. So let's see how that's going to play out as we continue on with the session here. So far so good. We're just going to keep an eye out front. Out front, Mikey is trying to keep a 7-10 gap to follow on with Clark here. Mr. Rage up a position against Cody here right now. He's now up into 4th. Looks like Smitty is down a position. Robbie has gained one there as well as he's moved up. I'm still trying to follow on with Cody. He was about 6-10 gap. But we're going to follow on with Cody and Aston Martin right now. He's trying to catch back up to the Red Bull in front of him. I don't think he's actually going to be able to get that position up there. It looks like Red Devil is going to gain another position down in the back here in midfield as well. Let's have a look at that very quickly here as he's getting on the inside right about now and gets ahead of Page there in the Red Bull. So that's the position up for him. Neil, another 3-second penalty, and he is currently running in 10th. About a 2:10 gap to the car in front of him. And go back with Robbie here, trying to get alongside someone. I think was trying to get alongside Cody there for P5, but doesn't get that position up. Does have Smitty behind of him, so needs to be a bit careful with that right about now. And see, Glock is out of the session. Something's happened, and Glock is currently out. There's his car at the side of the track there right about now, and a bit of a spin with the Red Bull. I think he had contact with someone here. Oh, that was Page having a spin around. Who had contact with the Red Bull driver? I'm not sure. So who else is having a bit of an issue? I'm not sure if any penalties were issued there. So we got a full safety car for that happening there with Glock. I'm not sure if he had contact with someone out front, but definitely what I know he was fighting for positions. Actually, let me just have a look for something a second here, see what happened there. If we can see what happened there. There we go. So Neil had a severe collision with Page there. That's a 5-second time penalty for Neil in that instance there. Glock server terminal damage. He's out of the race. Now, it's not showing if he had contact with someone. That's what I'm trying to have a look at there. Okay, so still under the safety car. Let's see what's going to happen with pit stops as we're getting around to the pit entrance here right about now. Out in front, of course, Clarky and Mikey both on fresh soft tires from the previous safety car. So I'm not sure if they're going to want to do stops. And looks like Mikey's getting into the pits. He's doing a stop. He's going to get into probably a new set of stops maybe. Clark is going to continue on out front. He's not taking a chance of doing a stop right now. We're on lap 19. A majority of the grid I see is getting into the pit lane right now. This is going to be an interesting change. Clark is taking a chance here. But of course, he was the race leader. He didn't want to take a chance of doing a stop. And then the car behind of him did not do a stop. So he's now following under the safety car. Smitty is continuing on out front. The rest of the guys who took stops, and he's now currently up to 2nd place. Red Devil currently running 3rd. Neil currently running 4th. BV currently running 5th. We got Scooby up to 6th. We got Extremist now running 7th. Vintage running 8th. We got Sam Robinson running in 9th. Mikey now running 10th. Mr. Rage getting out to the pits. He's going to be 11. We got Cody getting out, going to be 12. We got Robbie getting out, going to be 13. We got Paige getting out, going to be 14. Mazepin coming around, going to be 15th on the grid so far. So 15 drivers currently left to finish out the race. Let's see how well that is going to go or how badly that's going to go. But quite an interesting result after that one there. But I'm really not sure what happened to Glock. Might have just been his own fault because I'm not sure if he had contact with someone, but I know he was fighting pretty hard out front to gain positions there in the race. So it is quite possible he might have had contact with someone trying to get an overtake done, or maybe just lost the rear on one of the turns to get around. And from what I'm seeing in the Discord chat right about now, it looks like there was contact between two drivers there that caused Glock to be out of this race. I'm definitely sure that's going to be reported to the stewards. They're going to have to deal with that, but that's ruined his race so far. So definitely looks like there was contact with Glock and another driver there, and I think that's what's caused him to be out of the race. So unfortunate for that, but he's losing a lot of points, not scoring any points in this race. His teammate Neil still running in the race, of course, to gain some points for the team. We'll see how that works out. Of course, drivers are going to be a bit upset here, and a lot of reporting going into the report room this evening with the stewards to deal with. So we're going to continue on here with what we got going on the session so far. We're currently on lap 19 it is. We're about to enter into lap 20. Following under the safety car still. Hopefully at the end of lap 20 we can get back racing. Have about 8 laps more of racing to go before closing out the session. Hopefully has been quite an enjoyable session for you guys so far as we've been watching for the past hour 46 minutes here. Qualifying and then getting into this race has been quite interesting. So let's see what shall happen as we get further on down to the end of this race. Waiting for that restart to happen after this safety car here right about now. And I think we can just let's see if we're having a look at anything here. Alright, we're gonna let that be there for right now. Oh, looks like we're being hosted by Wildflower on Twitch there once again. Thanks very much for that. Okay, so let's have a look at a few things out there. Meanwhile, we're going on through this here right about now. Let's have a look at penalties first of all. So Smitty currently 3 seconds with penalties. Red Devil 3 seconds. Neil a horrible 14 seconds. Congratulations on that one there. 6 seconds for Scooby there. 3 seconds for Extremist and 3 seconds for Robbie. Neil breaking a record on this race. But we've seen worse. We have seen much worse. We've seen over 20-something seconds of penalty before with drivers on the grid. Just depending on what track it is, it tends to happen that way. And let's have a look at position changes. Looks like Smitty has gained 12 positions in the race so far. Clarky there gained 8. Who's going to be the driver of the day? It's Cyril Choice on that one. Let's see what's going to happen. Not sure if anybody has a preference here. Scooby there gained 10 positions. We'll see how it works out in terms of position changes getting down to the end of this race. We're going to keep on to tires here and hopefully get back racing at the end of this lap. Are those guys working at the corner? They've just been standing there the entire race. They get paid to stand on the side of the track and watch the race, and the other idiots have to pay to go and watch the race. Alright, so it looks like we possibly might be getting back restarted at the end of this lap here. I think the safety car is starting to pull away right about now. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think the safety car is starting to pull away right about now. So Clarky should be holding back the field just a bit. And we are about to get back restarted here for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We're round 3 here with Slipstream Racing Sunday Division. And let's see who's going to get the win for this one. As Clarky's about to get started already. I think he's already got a go on here. And on the straight now, so he's going to just go for it. And we got a 9-10 gap with Smitty just behind of him. Got a bit of a change-up happening down in the back here. Let's have a look at the rest of it to see what's going on through. And a few tenths between most of the drivers down with Extremist here. Pretty close in with that Alpine in front of him. See if he's able to get the overtake done as he gets on through sector 1 here. A pretty close gap. He's keeping in that slipstream. Getting closer and closer. He's going to take it into the braking zone on the inside and might actually get it up. Almost having some bit of contact there, but the Alpine pulls back to the right. And a pretty good move on him because he would have taken some wing damage in that case there. And they do get onto that straight there right about now. Quite a train of cars coming on through. We got Robbie down in the back here. Let's have a look at him right now chasing after Cody in the Aston Martin in front of him. Mikey just in front of that there. So pretty close gaps. And he's looking whether to take the inside or the outside. Going to be forced around the outside and blocked off a bit. Not able to get an overtake done. Robinson out in front there. Trying to get in the mix between Cody and Mikey as well. Let's see, this is a pretty close gap going on through. I'm going to try and keep an eye and see if anyone's able to get an overtake here. Beefy gets a position up on Neil out in front, who is now down to 5th. Let's see if that's going to work. The Aston Martin trying to pull on the inside of the Williams, and looks like he gets the position up. Looks like Robinson trying to fight it out with Robbie down at the back here as well. Let's see what's going on with that. That has definitely chasing after Aston Martin, trying to put it on the inside, had to rethink that and takes it back and holds the position there in P10. Is going to continue on that way there. And thank you to Momo Meow, I think that is, for following us on Twitch there. Do appreciate that very much. Do subscribe to us on YouTube as well. I think there was just a bit of contact between these two. They're still fighting for positions. Let's see what's happening here out front with Scooby still chasing after Mikey now for that position as well. Trying to follow on with the extremists as well. Let's see where he is. Chasing after the Mercedes of Neil. A pretty close gap with these two. He might be looking at an inside overtake here, or maybe down the straight, trying to use the slipstream as much as he can. I think that's where he's going to be at. We're on lap 22 of 28, and this race is going to finish and give it quite an interesting finish. We got Neil going a bit wide here, and he's going to try to get back on track. Of course, the extremist is going to get the position up quite easily. Neil looking to lose another position to the Ferrari coming behind of him. Let's have a look at how that's going. He already gets alongside him, gets in front of him. Mikey's up another position. Neil down 2 positions so far. He's trying to take it along the outside here, but not enough room to actually get an overtake done. Has to hold it down there in 7th. And he has penalties to deal with as well. So we're going to see how well that works out for him. So far, so good. Continue on through. Still in the top 10, but that penalty situation might not help his case here. We'll see what's going to happen. Back up front with Beefy. He's chasing after Red Devil for P3, trying to get for a podium position, and now gets a penalty as well. I was just about to say he didn't have a penalty. Now gets one. That's going to be a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits and possibly costing him a podium position in this race. Needs to get the overtake done now to possibly keep the position. Smitty having a penalty, Red Devil has a penalty, and now Beefy has as well. So we'll see how the penalties work out. Clocky out in front, leading the race by 4.4 seconds. Absolutely no penalties right now, and he's doing pretty well and running his own race as well. So he got a pretty good restart after that safety car. So DRS is now back online. We're going to go down to Mikey here, and we got some carbon fiber flying around the place. I think we have some contact between a few cars. We do have Extremist trying to get a wrong Beefy on the outside right now. Might be a bit dangerous to do, but he's trying to do it. We got 3 cars going quite a bit of contact between Beefy and Extremist as well. Beefy gets back to position. He's currently back up into P5, trying to hold it on through. It's about 3 to 4 cars fighting for a position here, and this is fighting for a podium position all the way through to Red Devil out in front. So this might get we already got some problems. Mazepin out of the race now. I'm not sure what happened to him, and that's a virtual safety car. Everything's gonna have to be slowed down. Everything's gonna have to keep their positions as it is right now. So this is going to make it a bit more interesting. I'm not sure what happened to Mazepin there, but he's currently out. That's going to put Neil up a position, Vintage up a position here. And Neil currently into the pits right now, possibly taking care of some damage he might have there. Not sure about that. We'll see what's happening with that later on. But Mazepin is fully out of the session. Currently down to about 13 drivers remaining in the session to finish up the race. Out in front, we're going to follow on with race leader Clark here in the Haas. His teammate, of course, out of this race, or is he racing? He's running in 7th, I think. Yeah, he's running here in 7th. So Haas looking to get some pretty good points at the end of this here still. We're waiting for that restart to happen here any time right about now. A 4.3 second gap is what Clarky has up front. So even if he gets a 3-second penalty, he's still winning this race and keeping a win. Of course, Smitty though, down there in 2nd, having that penalty, and it's a 3-second penalty. Red Devil has a 3-second. Mikey now running in 4th. No penalties for him. He's looking pretty good at getting 2nd place in this race at the end of this. Beefy though with a 3-second penalty. Let's see if he's able to get up another position or not. Currently in 5th, not going to be able to gain position because of no penalty, because he now has one. Cody there, no penalties. 3.1 seconds behind. Scooby might be looking at gaining 1 position at the end of this. Let's see how it works out. We're back online racing again. DRS is back online there as well. We're gonna possibly keep it with the penalties. Let's have a look back at tires, because tires are not so bad so far. I think they're running pretty well on the tires. We're gonna keep penalties on and continue on with that. They're going down to Mikey here, 5:10 behind Red Devil. Let's see how that gap is working out for him, and he's trying to close the gap as much as he can into lap 24 at the moment too. Definitely going to have a good run down the slipstream coming on that back straight there. Let's see how that's going to work out. He gets a better exit on the inside, and he's going to try to follow along. Using the slipstream, going to have a bit of DRS advantage, I think, there as well. And using his DRS side by side with Red Devil, and looks like he gets by. And he's going to keep that position up into P3. Of course, having no penalties, this definitely puts him up in the 2nd place in the race. And Red Devil now down to 4th. With Extremist chasing after him just behind there, about 2 seconds behind, so not too far off. With that, we're gonna go down to Robinson down here chasing after the Aston Martin there for the NPA. There's about a 4:10 gap, so let's see how that's working out with him. So far so good. He's keeping the gap as close as he can, and just gonna start to look for a gap for an overtake. I think that was a bit of a warning there. Just kind of just caught the track a bit. And now trying to get a better exit and get alongside that Williams if he can. Let's say like that, smart if you can. Let's see how that's going actually. 6-second penalty right now for Scooby now being in front of this. Page going behind in a Red Bull 4:10 gap. So looking to get an overtake down here as well. Okay, guys, into lap 25 right now. Still following on with Page here at the moment. 7:10 gap to the driver out in front. Let's see if this overtake is going to happen now or not. Looks like Scooby is out of the race as well. Something's happened. I think he's possibly retired in the pits. I'm not sure. Where is he on track? There's a car at the side of the track there into the walls, and that thing is just going to be some yellow flags because it's off the track, not blocking the race in any way. We're back up with the Extremist and Mikey right now. Let's see what's going on out in front. A fight for second place on the grid. Either way, it's going to be second place for Mikey, but let's see if he's able to get overtake done. Looks like he's going to get it. Trying to push it around the outside right now of that McLaren. Not able to get it done as yet, but still going to push on through. And definitely quite sure he's going to be able to get his overtake done because I think he's possibly on better tires right now as well. He's on the soft tires. Smitty on the mediums. Going to be a bit slower here. He's just going to have to make sure he doesn't run into the back of that McLaren and take damage at this point here. Just wait for a good opportunity to take that overtake. We go have Red Devil trying to chase after Extremist down in the back there as well for P4. So let's see how that gap is going to continue on to. Page still behind Sam Robinson, fighting for that 7th position. And Page are not having any penalties, looking to get up a few positions at the end of this, possibly 2 positions or maybe just 1. We'll see what is going to happen. And that being the only Red Bull driver left in the race. So looking to get some points for the team. And some points for the driver championship there as well. So it looks like Mikey's got the position up. He's up into second place on the grid. Now going to follow on behind Clarky. Of course, just about 2.5 laps remaining in the race now. So not enough time for Mikey to actually catch up and take away the win. This might only be possible if Clarky takes a 6-second penalty here and Mikey can get within 6 seconds. Let's see if he's breaking the gap down or not. Currently, Smitty running third. A 3-second penalty. He's looking to keep that position. Extremely currently running 2.6 seconds behind. Trying to follow on with the closest gap now we have, which is Page here in the Red Bull, chasing after Robinson there in 7th. Let's see how this gap is going to work out. Page now has a 4:10 gap to that driver in front of him. If Robinson makes a mistake here, it might lead to Page getting that overtake done. And now looking on the inside, let's see if we're going to get it. And looks like he gets the position up here. So that's quite an interesting overtake. So Page gets the position up into 7th place. Robinson is now down to 8th. He's lost the position here. Page, of course, has a 5.1 second gap now to Robbie out in front, who has a 6-second penalty. So Page is looking to finish 6th on the grid here. If I think all they have to do is just keep that gap as it is there right now. Let's take this back up front here, see what's happening right about now with Robbie chasing after Red Devil. And goes quite a bit wide there. Extremist out of the race. Unfortunately, I think that's let's see if that's going to be anything happening. That's Page up another position now. Robbie up another position. Everyone moves over position because of Extremist out of this race. Unfortunately, what happened to his car? And he's down at the side of the track there. So I'm not sure what happened to Extremist. Unfortunately, out. We're now remaining with 10 drivers in. Well, all 10 drivers should be getting points. That is provided they finish the race, of course. Now we're on lap 27, not going to be any safety cars or VSC. We don't want to finish the race under that here. So about to enter into the final lap here pretty soon along with Clarky. We'll see how he finishes up the final lap. On with Mikey here. Bit of a gap going onwards out in front, so not going to be able to catch up as yet. Looks like we got 4 drivers currently without any penalties in this race to finish it off. Let's see if that's going to be the case as we get to the end. We got Red Devil being chased by Robbie here. 1.8 seconds is what that gap is. Let's see how that's going to continue onwards. we're going to keep it here for the moment, at least just see how the final lap and a half remaining is going to go. And we got Clarky has now entered into the final lap of this race. Let's have a look back at position changes here as it is right now. Smitty there gained 11 positions in this race. Page has gained 12 and should be looking at gaining 13 positions. Might be looking at driver of the day there. So not a bad first race. And getting points for the team as well. We'll see how that's going to work out in terms of driver of the day, because Smitty does have that penalty. We'll have to finish right there in third. We'll see how this works out. It's probably going to be between Smitty and Page for driver of the day. I'm not sure. And what's going on with Robbie here? Why is he cutting through the track like crazy right now? Alright, let's get that off screen and have a look. Where is our race leader at the moment? And still in sector 2 getting around. Trying to have a look who has a close gap going on through here. Robbie here. Who's he chasing after? He's being chased right now by 2 drivers behind. Got Red Devil and Page coming behind there. And the penalties is what's going to be separating quite a few things here at the end of this. So we're going to have to see how this works out in terms of penalties. I have no idea how this is going to work out right about now. We'll see how they, as they get across the line, what's going to happen here. It started a bit further down than this. Clarky led quite about most of the second half of this race, I gotta say, getting through sector 3 right about now in the Haas here. His teammate Robbie running in fourth with a 9-second penalty. Of course, they might be losing 2 positions at least here. We'll see how that's going to work out. Robinson getting another penalty there, 6 seconds. And now we got Clarky gets across the line and takes the win for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Not a bad finish for him. We got Mikey coming around here to take second place on the podium, and he will be able to keep that. Smitty comes around, takes third place, and with a 3-second penalty, will be able to keep it as well. Let's see how the change-up is going to happen here right about now. We got Robbie coming around, switches it with Red Devil so far. Now let's see how they get across for this. So it looks like Red Devil is going to get across the line. A lot of wide for Robbie going on through. So let's see how it worked out. So it looks like Smitty finished third. We got Page move all the way up to 14. Might be getting driver of the day with that. Beefy finishing 5th. Red Devil finished 6th. Sam Robinson finishing 7th. Robbie finishing 8th. We got Cody coming around, and he should be able to take 9th as he gets across the line with Vintage behind him with a 3-second penalty, which means that's going to mean he's going to have to take 10 there. Just waiting for the two of them to get across the line to finish off this session here. Quite an interesting race. Only half of the grid finishing, of course, has been the pattern with all of the leagues so far I've seen in terms of DNFs by the end of a race. Hopefully by the halfway through, maybe by the next few races, we should be avoiding all of that. We'll see the entire grid as it goes on through. So Page gets driver of the day there. First race I've seen with SLIPSTREAM Racing, and not a bad finish. No penalties as well, which is kind of what pushed him up the grid. So not a bad finish. Let's see what that's going to work out for the next race. That's going to be quite a few points getting in for the Drivers' Championship there as well. And might be challenging some of these guys for that. So not a bad race there. Let's have a look at the final results and getting through this. This will still be preliminary results as we get on through here. So race winner there, Clarky takes it at 1 there. Not a bad finish from him, and gets some more points in there for the team as well and for the Drivers' Championship. Mikey there finishes 2nd on the podium with him. We got VRL Smitty finishing 3rd. Page takes 4th on the grid for Red Bull and driver of the day. Not a bad race or first race there actually. Beefy takes 5th. Red Devil takes 6th. We got Sam Robinson taking 7th. Robbie finishing 8th. We got Cody finishing in 9th. Vintage finishes 10th on the grid. Rest of the drivers, we got some DNFs. We got fastest lap going to Robbie there. So not too bad of a finish here for the drivers here for round 3 SLIPSTREAM Racing League Sunday division. Thank you guys for joining on to the session. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the race there. Don't forget to follow us on Twitch, follow us on Facebook, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Remember, links are all in the description of the video for everything else. So thanks once again guys for joining on. I'll see you guys on the next session that we have coming up. Do check out the schedule to see what we got going on.